Welcome to the Junior High Humanities Podcast, where our students dive deep into the heart of what it means to be fully human.
Every episode is a student-driven journey featuring their unique insights, reflections, and discoveries from their humanities assignments.
Stay tuned to the Junior High Humanities Podcast for a captivating exploration of humanity, faith, and learning.
Hi guys, welcome to our podcast. Today we're going to discuss all of our poems and get deeper into the meaning. My name is Scarlett.
My name is Colbi.
My name is Teagan.
And my name's Annelise.
We're going to start with my poem, and the title of it is To My Mother. To my mother, my number one cheerleader, who is there through it all to catch me when I fall. I'm always excited for every new craft she creates. When the aroma of baked cookies infuses the air, my heart jumps with pleasure. She's always so thoughtful, wrapping a gift with bows of gold, or taking me to catch the sunset, a canvas ablaze with heavenly orange sky, bidding us goodnight. Of all the special joys of my life, a mother's love is the greatest of them all.
Okay, Scarlett, I really enjoyed your poem, and a question for you I have is, what inspired you to write this poem?
This poem meant a lot to me. My mother was, of course, the inspiration. She really is just a vital person in my life that I can go to through anything, so she really just inspired the whole poem.
I really like when you said that she's always so thoughtful, like wrapping a gift. What did the poem make you think about?
Yeah, I realized a lot when I was writing this poem that you are not always going to be on this earth with your mother and that you should never take any moment for granted. And I'm really grateful for every opportunity I have and all that she blesses me with. She really is thoughtful with every gift she wraps, and that's why I mentioned it with the bows of gold, because she pays attention to every detail and is always super thoughtful in everything she does.
Yeah, I really like that too. Okay, how has your mom been an influence in your life?
My mom has really influenced my life lately. She, whether that is in my style, my personality, how to be a better person through Christ, or just how to be a loving daughter like she was. And I am really grateful that I have her because she inspires me to do amazing things and is like a super loving mom and is always proud of me no matter what, and it's super nice to know that. She's been a great influence for how to be a better daughter of the King. She is always mentioning Bible verses and really lives her life how God would want her to. She's super supportive, like I said, and is just like really loving and is always like showing up for me. She always is going to be my number one cheerleader, and she always shows up for dance competitions and is always like helping me and is always so supportive and proud of me no matter what, if I place or if I don't. And she always is super thoughtful and will take me out to lunch if I do good, or will get me a gift. And she's just like the best. I love her so much, and she means a lot to me.
What do you mean by when you said for every new craft she creates?
Yeah, so the line was, who's there through it all to catch me when I fall. I'm always excited for every new craft she creates. So she is very a crafty person, and she always is making new crafts. For example, during Christmas time, we make these glitter houses for decorations, and they're super fun. And she just pays attention to every detail, and it's so cute. And she's just a great person who she just is super crafty, and that's where I got my crafting, and it's super fun to do crafts together.
I loved your imagery on her taking you to catch a sunset, a canvas ablaze with the heavenly orange sky, bidding us goodnight. I just feel like that was like a really good imagery. Like I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, thank you. That's super sweet. I thought it was really cool imagery too. I have been to many sunsets, and they're just super pretty, and they are heavenly and majestic, so I had to learn how to describe that in a certain way, and I felt like I could really portray that through this poem. And one of my favorite memories with her are go to sunsets and eating pizza on the beach. So I thought a good way to represent the sunsets would be describing how she takes me there. So yeah.
Yeah, I really like that too. You have like a gift for imagery and like a really great imagination.
I love how you said too, like, she's your number one cheerleader who's there through it all to catch me when I fall. When has she, like, been there for you for a situation when you're struggling?
Yeah, she has been there a lot of moments. Recently, there's this girl at my dance studio who has really, like, hurt me, and I felt defeated by her. Her words of sadness and anger, like, hit on myself, and she was just an unkind person, and I really didn't understand what she was going through and why she was blaming it and taking it out on me. But my mother has been there, and we have prayed together for her, and she's really just like there for me and trying to understand where I come from, even though she might not understand like what I'm going through. And she has really just been there and prayed for me even when I'm not there. And it's really cool to see how God plays this role in it too, and how she plays a great role in my life. And there's been many times where I just feel lost and defeated, but my mother is someone I can always count on no matter what to just go to and vent. And it doesn't matter if it's like whatever the situation, like she will be there like no matter what, and she'll like take me to Starbucks or go get a cookie or something when I'm having a bad day. And she's just like a great person and is always there for me and during my struggles. I also have 3 other siblings and 2 dogs, and as a mom that can be really hard. She has a new job and she's always busy cooking meals and doing chores, but she is always giving me the attention and is such a great mother. She is always there for me, like I said, and is almost there for all my siblings all the time, and really wants you to feel loved. And I think she does a great job at that, and I just really appreciate her so much. She's the best. Now Annelise is going to share her poem.
My poem is about my dad and his influence on my life. So, yeah. It's called Influence. My dad shows what I need to look for in a man, an influence that began from the first time I cried. A blanket, warm and safe. When I get married, he'll walk me down the aisle like he's walked me through this life. He'll hand me off to someone who resembles him in every way possible. Because my dad is an influence I'll forever hold.
I really loved that, and I thought it was super sweet how you just love on your dad. I really liked the blanket, a warm and safe. I thought it was a great metaphor, and you really showed how sweet he is and what a great influence he is as a man, and I thought that was really cool how you included that.
Thank you so much, Scarlett.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I really liked your poem too, in the way you just told everyone how your dad was such an influence on your life. How can you relate your poem to the real world for other people?
So I'm actually really grateful that I have a good influence in my life, because I know a lot of people, they don't have a good father figure, and that can lead to what they end up marrying. It's because it's what you grow up with, it's what you know, so you're comfortable with it, even if it's bad. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, I would totally agree. My father does a great job, but I bet yours does too. I really like how you touched on the walk you down an aisle part for your future wedding, and I thought that was really cool. Do you have a song that you think you're going to play when you walk down the aisle with him?
So all of the songs we kind of listen to together aren't really the most fit for a wedding type scene, but I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Yeah, so with my dad, we more of listen to upbeat music, but when has your dad made you feel special?
He makes me feel special of how much he cares about my soccer, and taking me to tournaments that are far away, staying in hotels and that. It's really fun with him.
Do you have a favorite memory with him? I know I have a lot with my dad. What about you?
My memory is probably, like I said, going to soccer tournaments and exploring whatever city we're in. He's really into history, which sometimes isn't my favorite to, like, go around, like, Las Vegas figuring out the history of it. But we figured it out.
Yeah, that's super fun.
Yeah, I'm not really that much into history either. But next question. You talked about, like, how much he's influenced you in your life. What character trait, like, has he most influenced you on?
He's most influenced me definitely on, like, being dedicated and, like, not giving up, because, like, he pushes me to, like, the most, and he doesn't give up. Like, he will never give up, and so I think I've learned that from him.
I can totally see that through you, and I think it's a great quality to have. How has he been, like, as a Christian, how has he influenced your faith, and how are you a better person because of him?
He's influenced my faith a lot because he has very strong opinions. He's a lawyer, so it's like if, like, I'm kind of, like, debating something, like, he always has, like, a answer for it. And, like, to prove a point, like, if someone, like, asks me about, like, Christianity, like, I feel like I always have an answer because of him.
Yeah, I think that's a really special trait to have as a father. And what do you think that you love most about him and what he does for you?
Yeah, he works really hard for me and my family, like, getting, like, to this school, it's really expensive, and all of our sports and everything like that. Like, he works really, really hard. Like, I love how he's, like, so funny. Like, he'll be, like, serious at times you need to be serious, and then, like, funny at times, like, you, like, should be funny, and, like, he always cheers me up when I'm sad.
When's the funniest moment you had with him? Or when has he made you laugh the most?
For what?
It's probably when, like, I didn't have the best soccer game, and I'm, like, crying after, you know, and then he kind of just, like, be sarcastic, but not in a way, like, annoyingly, just, like, more in a way to cheer me up and, like, get my mind off things and, like, take me to, like, ice cream after or something like that.
Yeah, I can totally see that. I think that's a great point. Do you have, like, a funny dad joke that he's mentioned before or anything like that?
I definitely do. So his dad joke is, so there's a family of tomatoes, and
Keep going.
And the dad and mom were walking, and the little baby tomato, like, fell behind, and his dad came up to him, and he smushed him, and he said, ketchup.
Okay, I love that joke. This one's kind of, like, not as deep as we have been talking about, but
Okay.
You are talking about how he always supports you in his soccer games or, like, when you go to tournaments and stuff. Was he, like, did he grow up as a soccer player like you, or did he have a different sport?
He actually played professional tennis, and he played that. He kind of played baseball earlier on and then switched to tennis when he was about 13. But, like, I think he just knows competitive sports and, like, what it's like, especially being a pro, like, and getting there. And, like, he played for, like, Pepperdine and schools like that. So I think it's just, like, he relates to that kind of.
Woo, go Pepperdine!
He also watches soccer, like, a lot. And, like, my mom's side of the family is really big on soccer. So he just kind of, like, learned it through, like, my mom and then, like, got obsessed with it. His favorite team is Manchester City.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's really cool that both of you and your dad both played sports. That's super, like, relatable and fun. So with sports comes competitiveness, and you said he's pretty competitive, and I know you really are determined to win and have that competitiveness, which is a great quality to have. Do you think you got that trait from him and he was like an influence? Because I know that's a super great trait to have when you want to be good at a sport.
I definitely got that from him, like 1,000%. Like, if I'm, like, losing, I, like, always am, like, I, like, can't lose. Like, I don't know. I just can't lose. I'll get so mad. And I definitely got that from him because he gets really mad when either, like, a sports team loses or he loses or just, like, anything like that. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I like how we wrapped that all up and how you talked about how he was such a great influence in your life.
I totally agree with that. So let's move on to the next poem. This is called Made by Him. When I look at the glistening ocean, I zone out into the energetic waves. As the arms lifts its arms to touch as the ocean lifts its arms to touch the shore. Almost like it's God reaching for me. I wanted him to take me with and dive in that wave. But I would get caught up and tumble. Some can get so big they scare me, so I run away. But something always brings me back, because I know he is by my side. When the sun smiles and shines on the glassy water, I can see a beautiful reflection of his peace. Life has its crashing waves that we have to learn to ride, but we will be okay because we're riding them with our Savior.
I really liked that poem. It was really beautiful. I think I could really relate to the tumbling of those waves because I have actually experienced that in real life. And I thought it was really good imagery how you used that. How have you struggled and gone through a wave, and how has God picked you up?
A lot of my struggles have to do with school stress. A lot of it has to do with soccer as well, and of course drama, but God is always by my side, and I think everyone gets caught up in those big waves and tumbles, but we just have to know that he will protect us and he knows a plan for us. And yeah.
Yeah, I really liked your poem. I liked how you connected the ocean to your relationship with God, and how when God's by your side, you're able to make it through hardships and stuff like that.
I really think the ocean is a great image of how you can think of God. You can think the ocean is so beautiful, but it's also scary and you can fear it as well, which I think you did a great job of using God as an example of that, because he's so beautiful and he's heavenly and perfect, but sometimes we have to fear him in order to have a relationship with him, because he is just such a perfect person and a mighty person. And yeah,
I really liked your imagery with the ocean and stuff. Just a random question, what is your favorite beach?
Yeah, that's a good question. I definitely like Salt Creek because when I look at the ocean, somehow it just reminds me of him, and that's why I use the ocean in this image, in this poem, because when I look at the ocean and the sun, as I said, on the ocean, it's a reflection of his peace, and it brings me peace to my mind. So yeah.
How would you relate your poem to the real world and to other people?
Yeah, so a lot of people can relate to my poem because, I think an ocean is it's a symbol that a lot of people can relate to, because a lot of people can get caught up and they could seem like they're drowning in fear or anything, but I think and the ocean is never stopping. One of my aunt told me a long time ago that the ocean is never ending, and it will always go no matter how calm the day is or how stormy it is. It's never ending, and that's what our lives are. It's never ending of activities, and sometimes we get stuck in the middle, but we have to find a way out.
So in your imagery, you said as the ocean reaches its arms to touch the shore. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I said as the ocean lifts its arms to touch the shore, almost like it's God reaching for me. It means that the ocean lifts its arms means there's a wave forming to touch the shores, to touch the sand after the wave crashes. And I think that's a way of kind of God almost reaching for me as the waves crashes. And I said I wanted him to take me with and dive in that wave. And I always want to dive in those waves because I feel like he will always want me to go with him, and he reaches for me, but sometimes I get scared that I will caught up in it and just have my mind games and just keep going back. But yeah.
Yeah, so you know that when you'll go under the water, under the waves, you know that he'll protect you and you can feel him.
Yeah, and you know how you have to go under the waves extra deep and to not get tumbled back, so you have to think really deep in those things.
Yeah, so like when you go under the waves, you'll always come back up, kind of.
Exactly. Even if you don't know if you will, he will help you bring that up and see the real truth of this world.
So in Genesis 1:21, it talks about how God created creatures of the sea and every living thing which was in the water and that moves about it and within it, and according to all kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. I think that we can use the ocean as something that is so good and bad at the same time, because it has all these crazy creatures and all these waves that come at you, but it is so good at the same time. And I think we can relate that to our world again, because if you're going through a situation that can be really bad, it's really hard to think of good things. But it is a good lesson for you, I think, that we can just learn from it. And I think that's where we can get the good from the bad things and learn how to live like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
To add on to that, I think a lot of people can fear the ocean. I mean, when I was little, I always feared the ocean, and I was scared about the big waves. But now that I've grown up and now I have almost seen a different view of it, I think it's a lot more peaceful than I imagined. And I know how to get under those waves, and I know how to overcome those things.
Mm-hmm.
So, to wrap this up, I picked the ocean because it's a peaceful place for me. When I'm stressed, I go there and I look at the waves just to calm me down. Even if they're big, even if they're stormy, it's just never ending, and I think that's a beautiful thing about the ocean, and I hope that people can learn from my poem. Okay, so now we are going on to Teagan's poem, which is also about the ocean, so we can relate to that too.
Okay, so yeah, I wrote about the ocean too. The title of the ocean, the title of my poem is called The Ocean. Okay. Two forces of water crashing into each other, to me, that is the most calming sound. I close my eyes to breathe in his greatest creation, a creation a man of sin can never create. I dove under the wave, and when I came up, even though I never wanted to, I felt so small. At the end of the day, it's just me admiring this vast and open sea.
I really like that poem. I think we can relate to that a lot because we both love the ocean so much. And also, we both talked about how we have fear of the ocean sometimes, but then we come back to knowing that God is always going to be with us.
Yeah, I totally agree. I really thought of this thing, and it was how God's love is like an ocean. He just provides so much grace and goodness for each trial and obstacle that we face. His grace is not only eternal, but his love is vast, more vast than the whole entire ocean. The Bible teaches a lot that God's love is beyond measure. It describes his love as everlasting and limitless.
To add on to that, you said how God's love is everlasting and how it's always going to be there. It's like the ocean. It's never ending, just like God, and how God is always going to come to shore for us.
Yeah. I kind of liked how we both talked about like
sometimes the ocean can be scary and kind of intimidating almost, but
for sure.
When you feel that like I said, to breathe in his greatest creation, I realized that I'm just a child of God in his creation, so there's nothing really to be scared about. And we both talked about when we go under the water and we have to go really deep in order not to get picked up by the wave, we realized that it's so peaceful in there that you never really want to come up, and you just feel so safe and you're in the arms of God.
Yeah, definitely. And you feel you're almost floating under the water, and that God is helping you come back up after the wave crashes.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that God is, and Christ is calming. He's the sea is so calming, and I can see God represent as the sea, and I just feel a lot of joy when I'm in the ocean, and I really agree with all that you guys are saying.
Okay, so what made you kind of come up with this idea? I kind of spend my time most in the ocean because it's where I feel my most
safe.
Yeah, my most where I'm most happy. And I just decided to write about it because I don't know if anyone else
feels the same except for Colby and me in the ocean. But I just think it's such like a beautiful creation of God, and I wanted to like share like how I felt about it, and just my love for the ocean.
Yeah, I totally agree. I also see it as a sign of like renewal and new beginnings. Like the ocean is just like so cool, and like there's so much we haven't discovered. Do you agree?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. There's so many things that are beneath the ocean that we don't know about yet, and that's the beautiful thing about it, that there's always unknown possibilities about what could happen, and even though we think we know so much about it, we still know so little, and we have more things to discover.
Yeah, that's what like goes through my mind a lot too. Like I'm pretty sure I heard this somewhere that only 5% of the ocean was discovered.
Yeah.
And like people say like they don't believe in like these types of animals, and they don't think they're real, but like how can they say that if like there's 95% of the ocean out there for us to discover? So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I feel like we can also relate the ocean to like the Bible. Like there's so much more to explore. There's so much like things that you can't like.
There's so many stories about it too, that even though people have gotten hurt and have died, and that's like the Bible too. Like there's sad stories, but there's also happy ones.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we can use the ocean as like a sign like of people who are not Christian, and how to like show them that, like we were saying, that like all of it like hasn't been a lot of discovered, and we can't like there's not enough proof to show that it's not real. So I think we can use that as well as a sign, like that it is like so good and so true, that, and it's like God is like, we don't know a ton about him, but it's like he's so like beautiful.
Okay, so Teagan, do you have anything to wrap up your poem? Anything that you like to say? Or any more questions for anyone before we end this?
How has God been like an influence in your life?
So like I kind of feel like the ocean is a representative of how God's been an influence in my life. Like I know that we've kind of already talked about this, but I know that when I'm scared and I'm really nervous and I feel like no one's by my side some of the times, like at the end of the day, I know that he is always by my side, because nothing bad ends up happening. Like he going under the wave, or sometimes going
over the wave even, and you think
that's what I was gonna
that
say.
you're like gonna go over the falls, but then you don't, and then you feel safe and secure.
And even if you do go over the falls, like he's
with you.
Yeah, he's just gonna
bring you back
right
up. Yeah.
Always like a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, of course.
So basically, that's like a way he's been an influence in my life, and he just stays with me through everything, and I can know that.
Yeah, I can feel that, because like one of the biggest lies people say is like I'm fine, but like you just like God is always there and he knows you're not fine. So yeah.
Yes, way to wrap it up.
Okay, thank you guys for listening to our podcast, and
I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you.
Bye guys.
Bye.
This episode has been a production of the Capistrano Valley Christian Schools Podcast Network. Capistrano Valley Christian Schools is a Christian JK-12 school in San Juan Capistrano, California. Be sure to check out, subscribe to, and leave a review of this show and the other shows on our network on your podcast player of choice. Doing so supports the school community in a multitude of ways. For more information about the CVCS Podcast Network or any of our other shows, check out cvcs.org or email podcasts@cvcs.org. On behalf of the whole network, this is Mr. Jasper saying thank you again for listening, and stay tuned for more.